Thanks for doing it. Well, damn it, man. Now I feel like, well, I mean, I know this isn't true, but now I feel like I've cursed. We can't have interviews with the coaches on game day. I mean, that's a great interview yesterday with Luke, and it was a great conversation, and I enjoyed it, and his candor is always appreciated. You want all those things, and I think most people enjoyed it, but then we go out and we lose, and so, now I can't do that anymore.
But they didn't get smoked like it was the NC State game. It didn't undercut the greater story of what's going on here.
That is true.
They still participated, played, and in some stages excelled within the spirit of this little team that could thing.
Yeah.
That made that interview yesterday really cool to listen to and watch.
Yeah, I just don't want to do anything to impede the progress that we're seeing. I don't want to feel like I'm a jinx. People jump to weird conclusions too. I don't have to deal with all that. I already deal with enough nonsense in my inbox. I don't need all that. They're like, well, see? Not that I got any of those this time around. If it happens more than once, it'll be a thing. People will think it's a thing.
It'll be a thing for Arbor Day or whatever day that is.
Flag Day.
Flag Day.
Flag Day, when I send everybody their emails. I am way behind. I think I missed last Flag Day. Now it's going to be
all right.
Every other Flag Day.
It'll never be quite the same as answering something that was 11, 12 years old, though.
I did. I answered one that was like 10 years old and one that was 6 years old. The one that was 6 years old, I got a response from. That was the best. They're like, hey, awesome, thanks. I forgot why I asked that question. All those moons ago. Yeah, Florida State played basketball last night, and it was a pleasant surprise regarding the attendance. Now, there was a little bit of a Chuck Walsh special going on over there. Chuck, come on now, brother. I think they listed it at 10,317. No, it was not 10,317 at the TLC-CC, but it was packed. And FSU and Miami did play, and I was a little worried because I kind of feel like in that first matchup down there in Miami, we did steal one. Miami's front court is sizable, and Florida State has had a distinct disadvantage against almost anybody they face this year from a size standpoint, and they have to kind of be the little engine that could in a way. And I'm not trying to belittle them in any way because there's some, there's some toughness there, but they're just not a big team. And, you go back right from Jump Street, some of these teams that have a depth of size and talent and veteran presence, and you kind of know it's going to be rough sledding. And I was worried about it. I was worried about it coming into the game. And at the end of the day, I probably should have been more worried about it. Now, you're going to marry that with the fact that not only do they dominate you on the boards, as they should have, the first go around, but also, Tom, that, they decided to go ahead and shoot the lights out from beyond three, which is not something that they've done at any point over the course of this season. But they lit it up last night. So hurts.
The second chance points, the offensive rebounds. They had more offensive rebounds in the second half than we had total rebounds, 9-8. Yeah. That'll hurt your feelings. You can live with that because that's what the matchup says on paper. But when we went to the zone in the first half, they shot us out of it, even though we didn't come out of it. But you know what I mean. We decided to allow 4 perimeter shots, and they hit a bunch of them. They shoot 50% for the first half. They're averaging just under 7 per game for the season, and they're at 7-8 3-pointers by the time we're a couple minutes into the second half of the game. So unfortunately there was a tendency breaker there. I thought we had some tendency breakers to get back into the game. LeJay Jones specifically making a couple of really, really difficult shots.
Yeah.
AJ Swinton contributing with a couple of big baskets that help you fight back. But yeah, the key to it are two very different stats. One is how they crashed the glass in the second chance points they got off of it. But 2, they shot the 3-ball really well. They don't typically, if they shoot the 3-ball that well in tournament games,
they're going to be a tough out.
They will be a very tough out. Yes.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you think about it, you're tied up with just under 8 to play, and in spite of all of what you're describing right there, it's pretty stunning given the fact that the numbers are the numbers. I'm with you on this. I also look. You get out rebounded 42-23. You're not going to win a basketball game all that often. Luke addressed it after the game, talked about that. He also pointed out that Miami's number 2 in the country in points in the paint, and that you can see why. I mean, that's not something that you can coach your way out of. I don't get mad at situations like that. Like, you're not going to coach your way out of being significantly undersized. You can give yourself the best chance to succeed despite that failing of your roster or detriment in the game. And I think they've gone a long way. That was described in the interview yesterday where he talked about the war rebounding aspect of what they do in practice. And by the way, last night I thought it was on display, kind of the opposite of what they've been doing. You've got to put bodies on people before the ball comes off the rim. Because when you are, as he put it last night, just jumping at the ball reaction, you're not going to win against longer, stronger, bigger bodies. It's not going to happen. It's like you both recognize simultaneously there's the ball. Who's going to win that battle if you both start at the same time? It's going to be the guy that is the bigger, stronger, longer player. So you got a body beforehand and root people out of there. It's hard. It takes an awful lot of work, but they've been willing to commit to that work in the weeks leading up to this game. I'm not saying they were lazy last night. Miami was more committed. Listen, Miami wanted revenge for what, in their eyes, was a bad loss the first time around. It turned out to be the catalyst for Florida State to see this turnaround. Whereas for Miami, I'm sure it was the one that stuck in the craw. Like, really? We lost to this team who were better than, who were bigger than, who were playing better than. We let one slip away from us. Not tonight, boys. Not tonight.
And between that and the Virginia game over the weekend, where they feel much the same way. You got an angry bunch that's coming down here.
They played well.
They did. And they got some hosses there. I'd be talking more about Shelton Henderson if he didn't pull an MJ Walker there in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But that dude looks like, a running back who will just – well, he did run us over. Was it Somerville that he ran over in the second half?
Yeah.
He will just run right through you. That is a for a guard, just kind of a wide, hulking presence. And, of course, they got the guys underneath. But Uday was causing problems for us in the last game down the stretch where you're shutting down in the Watsco Center the ability to drive the basketball. And you saw that Robert McCray there was nothing he could do. And so down the stretch, when he's usually the guy that's your closer, he cannot be unless he's going to hit a perimeter shot because of what they have down there in the paint. And Leger, bless his heart, tried the same thing and found out the same thing, that you're just not long enough and strong enough. So we had to make some perimeter shots, but we hung in there really well. I thought when they missed their two front ends, Miami down the stretch, that maybe there was magic again for us.
Yeah.
But it was generally speaking just another game where we're playing above our weight class, and that's all you can ask here now down the stretch. Don't allow for there to be a hangover at Georgia Tech. Don't allow for there to be a hangover on the road at Pitt, who's not a good team as well. Go on the road, handle those two games, and you've got a shot to finish this season over 500 in the ACC against the bubble team in their own right in SMU when they come to town in 2 Saturdays.
That'll be a great game. That atmosphere should be an awful lot of fun. I mean, to the point you were making at the top here at the beginning, Miami, okay, I can live with the physical problems that you have or that you're facing against Miami. And maybe sometimes you can't overcome those things. It works that way sometimes. We always talk about it in football. You'll see bigger, stronger, faster. You can throw the kitchen sink at people and occasionally spring an upset, but bigger, stronger, faster is going to be a problem eventually. And I thought it was last night. But what you really probably didn't expect, and it did hurt you, is that Miami came into the game averaging 6.4 made trays per game at 33%, which is not great. They had already made 6 in the first half. They were 6 of 12. They shot 50% from beyond the arc in the first half. They went 14 for 30, so nearly 50% for the game. Okay, you're just not going to overcome that. Well, it's going to be very, very difficult.
And what you're doing with the zone there is you're saying, go ahead and prove it. And they did.
They did.
The strategy is sound. The strategy is sound, so they beat you up on the glass. And really, it wasn't that bad in the first half, but in the second half, it's 23-8. I mean, they laid the hammer down in the second half. But when you combine those two things, that's what I'm saying, just in terms of looking at Miami as a candidate in the actual tournament. If you're going to have kids hitting from the perimeter like that to go along with the size, you can see why they constructed the roster the way they did. But it's just this whole season, they're not making threes. So if they do, you're going to be in big trouble. They did last night. And that's why I'm saying those two things are both true. They're crashing the glass and they're hitting their threes, and yet you're still within a possession down the stretch. How the hell did you pull that off?
Well, because you shot well over the final 20 minutes. You shot 48.4% from the field. You were 15 of 31. You shot just over 30% from three, 14 of 13 in the final 20 minutes. So you're not great, but you're not awful. You were in the game because you shot it pretty well. You were dominated on the boards, but you did force 10 Miami turnovers. And Luke addressed that after the game as well, saying we were able to turn them over a little bit and give ourselves a chance. Listen, Florida State outscored Miami in points off turnovers 19-7. That's how you're in the game.
That's the multiple defense thing. You're going to give up some easy baskets, but you're having a hunt for turnovers, live ball turnovers, in order to try to generate and fill the gap. But it's Miami's made threes. We hit most of our free throws in the second half too. Was 7 of 8 in the second half from the stripe. Wasn't as good. We weren't as good in the first half. So you're doing little things with the margins. And the thing I like there is that Swinton has a sequence where he makes a big bucket or two for you. Basong does. McGee makes the and one with a 4-point play for you. And then LeJay takes over for a small stretch in the second half. Then I think he got way too selfish down the stretch because there were a couple of possessions where you go either take the shot from the corner or don't dribble yourself into trouble. But it's nice to see that even as you lose last night, more guys are cultivating good half-court possessions, baskets for you that mean something. So if you're trying to go on some sort of magical run here in a different state.
I love that you don't give up the ghost.
I do not. You're going to need – in one of those games, you're going to need Swinton to give you 8 or 10 points. Another one of those games, you're going to need Kobe McGee to go 3 of 6 from 3. Those kids are making these baskets, so you're putting something together. I just wish we had a little bit more time.
Yeah. I wish you had more time. Florida State is back playing baseball tonight. Dick Hauser Stadium over at the Dick. We've got baseball against North Florida on a Balls McWednesday. Don't mind if I do at 5 o'clock. Noles haven't played at home since we had those games against James Madison. You get a bad taste in your mouth for the way you left Texas, the state of, and that ballpark in which you got drubbed over the course of the last 2 games after scoring the first 4 to start the game against Auburn. You watched Auburn come back and win that game, and then you saw Nebraska bludgeon you, in which you were held to 2 hits. 2. That's a toughie.
2 dadgum hits.
2. So North Florida, again, they are the Ospreys. I kind of love that nickname. There's no other Ospreys.
It feels like that should be a singular plural, though.
The Osprey?
Yeah.
Look at the Osprey.
I'm going to see the Osprey at the Grand Prix.
Look at all the moose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're going with? Okay, well, the Ospreys, or Ospreys, will be here for a game tonight. Okay,
just the one.
Yeah, just the one. They're not plural. They beat Sacred Heart 2 out of 3 times when they played them to begin the season.
Good stuff.
They won 2 out of 3 versus Quinnipiac. Little Quinnipiac action.
The Quinnipiac Osprey.
Come get you some Quinnipiac. They lost to Charleston Southern and they beat Florida A&M. So here we are. Florida State got to be better. Hitting not a robust 289 through 6 games. No, it's college baseball. Can't happen. Got the 398 on base percentage and a 418 slugging percentage.
Yeah, Carnes and Chase Williams. They're the ones that need to get going this week.
Well, and Carnes has been really unlucky. I mean, he's hit the ball pretty hard a few times, and I'm like, come on, man. That's robbery. That's tough. It's really bad when it's one, it's not only, he's not the only guy, but he's had quite a bit of that happen to him, and you always feel bad. You and I love baseball. We're watching baseball all the time, and I'm watching the start of every major league season. There's some poor bastard who's cursed.
Yeah.
It's always somebody, and you're like, oh, so he's 0 for his last 14, and I've seen all 14 of those ABs, and 7 of those were pissed on right at the second baseman or the shortstop or the center fielder or whatever.
They don't have this for college baseball. I'm sure they have the advanced stats behind the scenes, but baseball savant, folks, during the Major League Baseball season, look up expected slug, and then you're going to get this whole chart about who's the unluckiest dude in the world.
In baseball, yeah.
And last year, actually, was my guy. It was Soto. He was 60 points unlucky in expected slug.
Yeah.
So Carnes ain't 60 points, but
it works the other way too, though. You'll see in a year where somebody will hit way above what's expected.
Oh, and it's got every major position player. You can sort the chart.
Yeah.
It's actually really fun to go scroll through if you're a big fan of whatever team to think, I think my guy got lucky last year. Well, you can look that up. You essentially can look up through 3 different stats how lucky they got over the course of a season. But yeah, the hard part is if you're unlucky, but let's say you're not that great of a hitter. We had a catcher last year who was snake bit early and he hit the ball hard a lot. Was that a hot streak that will never be duplicated, and so you never get the payoff from it? Now, Carnes, I don't think that's the case at all, and Chase, at bat-wise, needs to look a little bit more level in the swing, too. Some things to watch here, and we do play, as a reminder, on Friday at noon. Early start against the Citadel on Friday.
Is that because of the stupid bananas thing?
I believe so.
By the way, we got a question in the chat right here from Tony. He wants to know if I think Luke goes for bigs in the portal. Well, they got a 7-foot center coming in. And a superstar in the making. You think about getting somebody named Baby Shaq, who's 280 pounds and can move at 7 feet tall. You're going to remedy some issues. I don't know what he'll be as an all-around player right off the bat, but he's going to eliminate some issues that you have on the boards.
Yeah, and if you get somebody with Steen's stature in the portal again, I don't think you would get somebody who has as much production in his history because you're spending money a lot elsewhere. But if you get somebody that's
Well, they didn't pay much for Steen, so you could get somebody like that.
Well, we don't pay much for anybody.
But I'm saying we really didn't pay much. He had to come up a class. I mean,
if we get the Auburn kid, how much are we pinching pennies? But if you just get somebody who is of that size profile and you get to slot them next to Marcus Ponder, wow, what a difference that makes for your rebounding, and everything trickles down.
Yeah, they're going to be better off from a talent standpoint, from in terms of like just overall basketball skill. They'll be young though, and this is what we were talking about on headlines yesterday. It's like, man, you've got a great class coming in. Could be an incredible class. Could be a bona fide top 6 class, top 7 class, which is crazy because if they get the kid from Auburn, that's probably going to be a top 7 class in the country. At Florida State, that's insane. But unlike a lot of other schools, we're not, I don't think, going to be able to complement all of these young players that are highly thought of with a bunch of, a few studs in the portal. I don't know where that money would come from.
That's where keeping a guy like a Somerville or a Swinton in the fold would do you well. You need a couple of veterans there in that rotation to help bear it out and help you through November and December. You might be okay by the time you get to this part of the calendar next year, but those growing pains, that's going to be a real thing for next year. Speed of the game, first night that somebody can defend you like you've never been defended before in your life, all that stuff is going to happen next year. But the good thing is, last night they shot under 30% from 3 again. But if you watch that game possession for possession, how many good threes were generated? How many open shots within the flow of the offense, perimeter shots, were there? A lot.
Mm-hmm.
You bring in some guys that can actually make those buckets, and that changes the course of a lot of things in a lot of games.
I wanted to double check it for you, Troy Noel, since you asked the question. Marcus Ponder is 6'11", 7 feet, depending on whose measurements you believe, and he's down to a cool 280. He was 330. It's a monstrous man.
He did play up and down, though, tempo-wise on the circuit. I know it's not the same thing as Division I college basketball, but it's not like he was brought in there to be a half-court warrior and they get him out.
Yeah, no, he's an athlete, and he is in shape right now to go along with Brandon Bass and Colin Paul and Jason Lopez and hopefully the kid from Auburn. You're talking about some blue chippers here, and we're not accustomed to it, so you're going to see a huge upgrade in overall talent. Yeah. Tough loss last night. Disappointing loss last night. Understandable. You lost for the reasons that I can live with. Don't like losing, but I understand. So we'll see. Like you said, don't screw it up. Down the stretch for Florida State, you take care of business. You're going against a 2-13 Georgia Tech team in the league, a 3-11 Pitt team. They've got a game against Stanford tonight. If FSU beats both those teams, they'll be 9-8. Heading into the home finale against SMU, as we talked about, which would mean no worse in all likelihood than 10th place. Look, if you finish 10th, because you could finish better than that. If you finish 10th, you get an early round game against the 7 seed, and that would mean you're playing maybe SMU again.
Right.
And
I know Louisville's been there recently. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to play them. You avoid number 1 Duke in the quarterfinals.
I think the team that you want to match up with, frankly, is Virginia. If you can, with the double buys.
Sons of bitches.
I would like to line up with them, if at all possible, but we'll see how it all shakes out. You get a good picture this time next week. I mean, obviously, we'll have played our midweek game, But the first of next week, on Monday, you'll kind of know what the scenarios are for laying out the ACC tournament bracket, which was something we were hoping to be a part of in the first place not that long ago, and now we're squarely in the field, as long as we don't trip all over ourselves.
I want to bring up something that I'm aware of that isn't being talked about or wouldn't be talked about by the head coach right now, but I know this to be the case because I've talked to him. So this was not part of the interview. Now, you think about something real quick before we go to break. If they go to the NIT and they're not out of the opportunity to go to the NIT, they may end up in the NIT. If they do go to the NIT, for a team that was once 7-11 and 0-5 in the ACC in mid-January, that's a heck of an accomplishment. I know we don't, celebrate and have parades for NIT berths, but you would be very pleased with that. Lately, the way it's gone, a lot of teams turn down these lesser tournaments anymore. They just don't want to spend the money. They don't do it. They don't go. They don't see the need. Luke has said, and I think he still feels this way from what I can tell, if they get an invite, they're going. He wants more basketball, not less basketball. He wants to continue to coach this team and watch them grow and continue to assess this roster about who's coming back and who isn't and who would they want to come back and who wouldn't they and all that. They're going to say yes. And not only are they going to say yes, there's the opportunity perhaps that 8-team college basketball crown, the CBC tournament in Las Vegas. Again, not like a grand achievement or something that you would be all that excited about. I think they'd say yes to that as well. They want to play.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing to go cover too. I think we should do the shows on the road for that one.
Live shows from Vegas, just to sacrifice for the people who are interested in perhaps some insight into the college basketball crown, the CBC tournament. Tom, I would do that. I'd make that sacrifice. I would do that. And I think if you wanted to go and produce and do the shows with me, we could make that happen.
But what else would I do?
I mean, it's the right thing to do. The people would be clamoring for the info from Vegas. All right. I'm in on that one. That means we're going to root for them to go to the basketball crown and not the NIT.
12 large on red. Let's go.
Not the ding ding, but the CBC.
The CBC.
Live at the CBC here in Vegas. Oh, we would have a blast. Probably not good for us. It's Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny pool. How effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
Searching for the best place to host an event for your friends and family? The Golf Club at Summerbrook is more than just a place for a round of golf. It's also one of the best choices for hosting and celebrating the most special days in your life. From rehearsal dinners and baby showers to corporate banquets and kids' birthday parties, you'll receive amazing personal service and attention to every detail when you choose the Golf Club at Summerbrook. Find out how affordable it can be and call us today at 850-894-GOLF. That's 850-894-GOLF.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Tired of calling 1-800 numbers just to get put on hold? Flush those numbers down the drain and call Terry West Plumbing and Septic Services, now offering Terry's Toilets, providing clean, reliable porta potties for any job site, special event, or backyard party. Real local people doing real work. No robots, no AI, no call centers. For all your septic services and portable restroom needs, one local call wipes away the competition. Call 850-510-8558. That's 510-8558. Or visit terrywestplumbing.com. When you call, we answer.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food. It's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín. Authentic Peruvian. Right around the corner.
Hey, it's me, your car. That crack on your windshield, yeah, it's not a good look. People are starting to stare.
Don't let your car be embarrassed. Call Seminole Auto Glass for fast, professional auto glass replacement. We'll fix chips, cracks, and your shattered pride.
Please, for both of us.
Call 850-539-4527 or visit SeminoleAutoglass.com today. Seminole Auto Glass, saving cars
And their egos.
one windshield at a time. Better call Seminole.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Rolling on a Ballsmick Wednesday. Tommy, I've got a detour to take on the show because I saw something yesterday that I thought to myself, man, you're in second heaven. We are, within 2 years of your dream coming true.
Umpires.
Oh, yeah. Did you see what happened in Fort Lauderdale?
No, please tell me that we're getting to every pitch is automated territory. Why?
Very, very close. So first of all, the Pirates and Red Sox played yesterday. Pirates drubbed the Red Sox. Just wasn't competitive. But anyhow, that said, a particular umpire had a very bad day. Now, let me point something out here real quick. So what's happening with the robot umps, the automated ball strike challenge system, it's up and running again this spring. As you recall, they did it last spring. But unlike last year, when it was a fun experiment, this time that challenge system will remain once the real games start. All right, so we're in. It will be ball striking away in every game in all 30 parks from opening day through the postseason and onward we go. All right. So yesterday, right out the gates, we had a situation. And there's a pitch that is middle down, not low, not out of the zone, but middle of the lower part of the zone. Okay. It's in the first 2 innings of the game. And the pitch comes in and it's from every angle. I mean, you're like, well, that is pretty close to down the heart. And the umpire, who is a AAA umpire, not a professional umpire, not a MLB umpire yet, doesn't call it a strike. Immediately we get a pitcher's challenge. It's like, nope, that's a strike. And the replay happens. And you see the replay and you're like, woo, buddy, you missed that by 3.5 inches. That's like really in the zone. It's in the meaty part of the zone. That's not like on the edge where you're going to forgive a guy, where he is human after all.
There was one that was nanometers out or in over the weekend. And they zoomed in and they had to keep zooming, kind of like when ShotSpot has to keep doing it.
Yes.
And it was a ball, not a strike, but it was a millimeter.
This one is, if there's a square, Tom, and you are looking for equidistant there in the middle, you'd go, that's close. I mean, it's just a tad lower than the heart of the square. It is unbelievable that he missed it. All right. Happens. He misses it. So they review it. Doesn't take long. That's a strike, big dog. So the ump has to make the signal. So he corrects himself because they tell him you're wrong. Same inning. No.
Oh, no.
Same inning. Another pitch. This time, the batter. No, man, that's not a strike. They review it. It's a ball, low and inside. Tough AB. Tough AB. We're not done. We're not done. There ended up being 5 in the first 6 outs of the game. He missed every one of them.
Well, that's why he's in AAA. I believe the major league average is 9 missed calls.
A bad game is considered, a really bad game is considered 12 to 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the entire 9-inning game.
Right. So you're dealing with 250 pitches, 300 pitches maybe.
Yeah. It's a tough, you'll live with that, right? Mitch Tricek was the one who had the
5 spot
flurry of challenges that hurt his feelings. With 1 out in the bottom of the first, 1 out in the bottom of the first, sir. You had a catcher challenge. It was clearly a strike. The NESN announcer for the Red Sox, the play-by-play announcer, Tom Caron, said, quote, and I quote, when you watch the replay, well, in that one, it's kind of right down the middle, is what he said to his partner there. That was one of 5 consecutive calls that were before the end of the inning. I mean,
he'll be getting demoted.
You can't miss, you can miss a total of 5 calls and they get overturned. If 3 of the 5 are in 1 inning and you miss all 3, it's tough, man. That's a toughie. So it's going to usher in what you want sooner rather than later.
I would hope so, because you have the right answer every time. Why do we reject the right answer?
Well, we don't. I think we want this. It's called the Umpires Union, and that's your problem. But those guys are still going to have jobs because safe calls at the plate and stuff like that. But
balks and swing judgments,
right? All that sort of stuff.
Are you in the box? Did the ball hit off your foot? Were you in play?
Not a fan of swing judgments either. And by the way, the swing judgments thing, when they check down to first or check down to third, those bastards get it wrong all the time. And I dare say this. That rule needs to be better clearly defined.
Well, yeah, that's why
it's a nebulous sort of deal there.
I think you could successfully argue that they don't get it wrong or they don't get it right because you don't know what the rule is.
Well, I mean, there is a rule, but I do think it's actually an unfair thing to ask a guy standing at third down there whether or not he saw that right.
Look, you have TrackMan, you have Hawkeye technology, whatever ABS is using, you can tell where the plane of the bat is in a swing. Measure that too. Draw a line either direction out of home plate. That's your plane. And if the bat crosses that, it's a swing. I don't care if you're standing in the front of the batter's box or not. It's a swing. That would have helped us specifically in Omaha some time ago.
Remember, I was like the only guy who kind of defended that bastard out in Omaha. You don't want to end the game.
That's why they called you Judas back in the football offices.
You just don't want to end the game that way.
I'm sorry.
And it's also really...
It's on the batter. That's his fault.
But you can't see from where he is. He's just going to... I wouldn't want us to have a game called that way either. I'd be like, come on, man. You know damn well you can't do that.
I wouldn't want that, but after the initial anger wore off, I'd be mad at the hitter.
I'd still be mad at the ump. Stop inserting yourself, man. Let's play baseball out here. Anyhow, the other thing I'd tell you is the biggest thing with ABS is, to me, this is a no-brainer. And this is where this is headed. Make no doubt about it. You do not introduce a system like this to suddenly walk away from it. They're not going to walk away from it. They've refined it. They've made it better. It's more succinct than it's ever been. They're only getting better every time because they've had this in the minor leagues. By the way, the biggest complaint and the biggest fear that people have about an ABS system is that it's going to delay the games because we've made all this progress in expediting games. It's a more enjoyable product because you're not there for 4.5 hours. And we've all celebrated the things that baseball has done in the last 2 years to make the game more enjoyable as a product to watch. I will have you know that in the minor leagues, it's used in every single game throughout the entirety of their season. It added a total of 1 minute to the games.
You know what else?
1 minute.
You know what would trade and subtract from that minute is if you have it just like the replay review system in baseball deals with managers. If you argue the call after we render our video challenge verdict,
you're done.
You are automatically ejected from the game.
But nobody's.
Well, no, I'm saying for the pitcher or the hitter. No histrionics. The call's the call. Get in the box, get your toe on the rubber, and let's do this thing. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything they're worried about. I don't think.
I'm just saying that you could probably shave off 10, 15 seconds here or there either way to offset the minute.
What I would tell you is that system just has to be faster. And it's already pretty fast. If they make it that much, this ought to be, look, man, we've seen this in tennis. They have gotten so good at this. They are in and out. It's over with.
Well, in truth, they have it automatically on every play. From what I was told, this is years ago now. This might be close to 10 years ago. With the shot spot technology that's not real, but everybody believes it, so therefore it's real. I know.
It's 100% real. Anyhow.
They have the answer immediately in the truck. Immediately.
Yeah,
they don't have the animation.
They
don't have the animation. It's just like, there's your answer. But they decide to allow for a little bit of theatrics.
Well, in tennis, you can do that. You don't need to do it in baseball. You got a million pitches.
I'm sure in baseball, you could just flash it on the screen. Now, one of these things is going to, or this new system is going to affect the viewing experience. I don't know if you know this, but it might take some of the strike, like the animations off of the live television screen, because they don't want people in dugouts or people around the organizations to be able to somehow communicate instantly that they should or they should not challenge. So now also the live broadcast of the game themselves is going to be delayed. I think I read it was 11 more seconds because they don't want anybody to be able to get into a television feed and unduly influence
that's
what should
going
happen.
to affect my gambling, so we cannot do that. But what I would say...
Yeah, live gambling is probably an in-stadium experience only now.
I was just saying, we can't have all this now.
Yeah.
As long as the ABS is swift. Ball strike, let's go. You know, I mean, like if homeboy is back there, well, at this point, it would really be easy. I mean, it's just beep, beep, beep. You know. I see it. Beep, strike, beep, beep, ball.
I think what I'd have is if you get it wrong, they don't even show it. They just show a picture of Bozo the Clown, and they're like, nope, wrong.
Well, it's the number one rule that and problem that the baseball union has with it is they don't want to be trotted out there to be made examples of on every pitch. So they're not gonna do that. But
an interesting article though, it's you said the catcher's challenge. Initially in our heads and my own, even though I'm pushing for this forever and a day, when I'm thinking of the challenge system, it's the hitter and the batter. The catcher is the right guy to challenge. It's not the pitcher.
Pitcher, catcher, and hitter are the only three that can challenge.
Yeah.
And they have to do it instantaneously. So you can't be like sitting around thinking about where that was. You got to do it right now.
Right.
If you go, Andy Rodriguez did it for the Pirates. The oft-injured Andy Rodriguez. Anyhow, Andy Rodriguez did it for the Pirates yesterday, and he no sooner caught it when Holmes called a ball, he was like beating the bejesus out of his head because he knows it was middle.
Yeah, well, that's where I think it'll be uniform, but we'll see what the policies are from the dugout. Perhaps aces that have been around forever have more latitude than younger pitchers, but I wonder, I think it might very well be that no pitchers are allowed. Because they're so far away. You got to trust your catcher. That is the unofficial captain of every team. You got to trust that guy to make the challenge.
I will say this, there is strategy involved in this. Who gets to do it and when? I mean, there's three guys that can do it. But what my point would be is you would let Soto challenge anything he wanted. He's got the best eye in baseball.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Soto is right 99% of the time, so it seems to me. Every time I watch, even though he's the most annoying player on earth, when you watch him, you're like, he's probably right.
He's not terribly emotional at the plate either to try and chase something, because you also have to gauge the psychology of the guy you got there. Who,
well,
if he's pissed about the previous pitch, but they didn't challenge it, he's going to challenge the next one because he's a hothead. Soto isn't like that. So yes, I would allow him to.
But he's one of those guys. Like back in the day, Bonds, nobody knew the strike zone better than him. You're like, okay, well, he knows, and that's
Freddie Freeman.
And umpires know this. They know the guys that know. The guys have earned it. It's taken a long time. But yeah, there are precious few others. I mean, there are a lot of guys I'd be like, no, you never get to. First of all, you're dumb as a post. I don't trust you to make decisions about how to get here in the afternoon, let alone balls and strikes. There are receivers in the NFL who drive me nuts. They argue that they've caught everything. And then the first replay you see, you're like, that bounced 6 times.
That's right.
It's
and
not even
this,
close. And you're standing up with all your history on it.
It's because they want to deflect the blame and
like
the shame
you
that they feel.
It's not close. You bum catch the ball.
If I can get 20% of people to be less mad at me so I can shift the blame, that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, they'll even go so far as to act indignant, like when I took the quarters from the Don and the boss, and I'm like, why would you like they'll look at a ref like, what do you mean we're not reviewing this?
So who's an obscure player in history? You've watched decades more of baseball than I have. That you would trust implicitly. Is there somebody?
Tony Gwynn.
Oh well, I mean
Tony effing Gwynn. Oh, obscure.
Not deceased. Obscure. Yeah, is there somebody in the Pirates history like, man, that guy knew the strike zone. I got to give him credit.
No, because they would have been great players if they knew it like Tony Gwynn knew it. Because if you're that good, you have that good of eyesight, you would be like, well, dude's really good.
These guys are obscure. Like Bobby Abreu would have been good at it. Nick Johnson's kind of obscure. I felt like he had a good sense of where the strike zone was back in the day.
Pittsburgh? No, we've been bad for so long. No. Jason Kendall had a good idea because he was a catcher, but he sucked. No, I don't think so. No, we've
had Minkavich. Did he know the strike zone?
I'm sure Doug knew the strike zone. He wasn't a great hitter in the pros. He was in college. Doug, if you're listening, brother, I'm just saying, the numbers are the numbers. It's Jeff Cameron Show 93.3
gold.
It's Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A new airline is preparing for takeoff in the capital city. Breeze Airways announced Tuesday 2 new nonstop routes from Tallahassee to Fort Lauderdale and Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. The city has granted the airline a minimum revenue guarantee, stating they project the airline will be able to make $3 million within 2 years. If Breeze does not exceed, then taxpayers will be paying the difference. Florida's Division of Emergency Management has officially opened its new State Emergency Operations Center, unveiling a 208,400 square foot facility designed to expand the state's capacity to manage disasters. The facility is structurally stronger than the previous building, with the SEOC wing built to withstand winds of up to 200 miles per hour, stronger than any hurricane on record. 3 backup generators provide redundant power to ensure continuous operations during severe weather. The EOC serves as a coordination hub during hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, and other emergencies. This is Rachel Anay with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MaclemoreSystems.com.
Now, here's your Tallahassee weather report.
Hey there, I'm meteorologist Ryan Gold, and we are back to average temperatures today. That includes lunchtime. We will be in the upper 60s as we head into midday, and we climb into the low 70s by the late afternoon. Skies will be a mix of sun and clouds, and the moisture and humidity are growing, which will lead to a much warmer start tomorrow. From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, a meteorologist.
Hey, fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And you still try to break the rules, right?
Oh,
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life. And the best game you ever played was that game. Never been a better one. Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff? I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Question asked in the chat, if Norvell goes 6-6, is he back the following year? I don't know anymore, guys. I mean, that's pathetic, and he shouldn't be, and, but I don't know anymore. So I can't say definitively whether he'll be back or not. I would like to believe that you couldn't have 3 consecutive non-winning seasons and keep your job at Florida State. But, I'd also like to think you can't go 2-10 and 5-7 and keep your job at Florida State. So there you are.
I would just hope there would, at minimum, be a comprehensive assessment of the football program if he goes 6-6.
We've comprehensively assessed that we can't. We're just broke as hell. We can't do anything, guys. That's what we've figured out. We figured out that we just have to sit here and wear it. I don't know, man. I'm sure a lot of factors are at play here, not the least of which is money. But who do you lose to? What are the scores? The injury situation.
Right. Yeah. The qualifiers for going 6-6. What are the qualifying conditions here?
There is no good one.
Well, we were up after the first drive of the game in 4 other games.
Lest you forget, Jeff, we were up in the third quarter of our loss to Stanford or whatever.
We were one of only 45 power institutions to be up at any point in 9 games this season. So I think that requires another look.
By the way, you've seen now, I think it's out there, and somebody emailed me this yesterday. So they're not going to do the big, booster tour thing. Remember how you and I were talking about how
the hell do they pull it off?
Well, I honestly, I've said before, I thought, like, how do you get Norvell out there on the road and have this guy having to talk to people? That could get uncomfortable. One of my complaints about him as a speaker is he strikes the same note over and over again. Maybe if you're winning, it might resonate with a few people. You might say, well, he's not a great public speaker, but we're winning games and he's very excited about that. So I'll listen to the same message over and over again. But when you're losing, that doesn't work. Saying you've seen it, you know how it looks. Nobody cares more. These aren't things that are going to resonate. It's going to be tough.
You got to pull maybe you could do this. You might be able to. Obviously, they're declining to do it this year. But if you just put on the mother of all raffles, with a 50-50 component to it.
The mother of all raffles.
Man, I got to tell you that those boosters at Florida State, they know how to do. I mean, I graduated from Florida in 77, but have you ever been to one of their raffles? The prizes are amazing. You have to go.
There is a way to do it. But again, and this involves something I want to see change anyhow. But I don't think it's going to. And obviously he's not going to get the chance now. We'll find out soon enough. I mean, I would assume they're going to have the spring luncheon, right?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out with 12 hours of notice. But yes, I think what we should all do as a fan base this year is all angle and find a way, find a young college-age person in your family and send them to every college game day tailgate to see if we can get some of McAfee's money and we can put some of those things together so we can start kicking those field goals. Let's just send agents all across those locations to see if we can score a quick 500K, 700K. That's how I would raise the money, is I would send those kids and find a way to just make sure they fit the aesthetic for those 6-figure kicks.
I know that, obviously nothing he could say on the tour, if he were to go on it, is going to change the way that the vast majority of the fan base feels. But I do know that if you were going to go on that tour, you can't have a rah-rah conversation. It can't be a, televangelist approach to talking about the program. You're going to have to talk about the program with brutal honesty. You're going to have to admit to your failures with brutal honesty. You're going to have the kind of conversation you have with a fellow adult over lunch. Like we're sitting here having a conversation. Nobody's yelling at anybody. We're just talking here.
Is he capable of doing that in a ballroom?
Well, he would need to be, because what are you going to jump up and down about? I mean,
if you recall, when you were up at the ACC kickoff last year, when he was in the video room, everybody was wondering, not Florida State media, national media, why is Mike Norvell shouting? Why is he shouting? Why is he Austin Powers, who seems to have trouble controlling the volume of his voice?
Yeah, I really believe that was a pushback against what he knew was coming. You can't go 2-10 and not fully expect to be asked how it's possible you went 2-10 at FSU. And he knew that there were going to be some tough questions regarding that 2-10, and he decided to go on the offensive, to attack it.
With decibel count. You know, that gets lost in the shuffle too, because I feel as though Gus Malzahn's theatrics, even though his theatrics are very quiet.
Yeah, he's very subtle.
The shiner under Mike's eye. Tony White saying, I don't even know what the hell they sent me. I just clicked it, and wow, of all things it could have been, it was a UCLA football meeting. I can't believe it. I don't even know what it was. The Mike Norvell shouting at 11, and I don't mean the dearly departed Mike Martin. I mean, at decibel count 11 at the ACC kickoff gets kind of lost in that shuffle.
We should have known.
That's right.
We should have known then.
I mean,
if
you're doing that and you got a mysterious shiner and your assistant coaches can't commit to coming back beyond the next week, and
we never did get to the bottom of the black eye. I think he basically said that came from, like, he was trying to pull at a bag or a workout bag or something like that, and like the buckle on the bag flew up and hit him.
Oh, Burberry.
So yeah, I think that's what I vaguely remember. That's kind of what was alluded to.
In which we do.
The things in which we do. Hour 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816-186.
Barano Heating and Air Conditioning.
Have a child turning 4 or 5 by September 1st? It's time to register for VPK with Leon County Schools. All families get free part-day VPK and full day is available. Apply online by March 2nd. Visit earlychildhood.leonschools.net. Your child, your VPK, your LCS.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Injured? Call attorneys who care. Facing Brooks. Offices, Tallahassee. Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel-tip boards and soft-tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Present Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers General Manager Jason Licht talking to the media from the NFL Scouting Combine. He was asked about receiver Mike Evans, as Evans wants to play a 13th season in the NFL. He has only played for the Buccaneers in his career, and Licht has made it very clear that they would love to have Evans back for this upcoming season, but they're not sure if he wants to return to the team. NHL teams, they are set to return to action post-Olympic break. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they play tonight as they are going to host Toronto. The Florida Panthers will host Toronto coming up tomorrow. Also, Captain Alexander Barkov, who has not played this season, he said that he is set to return soon. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
The smartest way to spend your money is not to. Straight Talk offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers on Verizon's 5G network. So the refund money I don't spend on that free phone is the refund money I get to keep for my family. Smart.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-134. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
All right, quick question. When did your garage turn into a storage unit that you don't even remember renting? Like you open the door and it's Christmas decorations from 2007, a broken treadmill, 3 mystery boxes, and one rake you swear you bought twice. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. That's why I finally called Southeast Portable Buildings right here in Tallahassee. And listen, these aren't those flimsy, good luck in a thunderstorm sheds. These things are legit, solid, built tough, look great in your yard, and they can actually match your house instead of looking like you lost the bet. You want a workshop, storage, man cave, she shed, a place to hide from your family for 20 minutes? Done. They deliver it, set it up, and in less than a day, boom, I can park in my garage again like an adult. Give Southeast Portable Buildings a call, 850-580-6400. That's 850-580-6400, or visit them online at Southeast Portable Buildings. Southeast Portable Buildings, reclaim your house.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon, there is one every few weeks. That's why the 7th Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials, too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, 7th Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
TLC Double C. Hopefully the result is a little bit different, though, where the Noles are maybe able to get a win. Let's get back to the winning ways and see some better play there. That is hope. Hey, by the way, did you see those hockey numbers, buddy? For the gold medal game? Wow.
Peaked in the 20s. 20 million plus viewers at peak with a 5 a.m. Pacific time start to that game. That is an unfathomable number for hockey.
Yeah, it was 26 million at its biggest, I think, of what I read, right? Those unbelievable ratings. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say unbelievable. They're believable. But, yeah, for an 8 a.m.
That is something.
Drop into the puck.
Yeah, 8 a.m. Eastern time. I mean, if you started that game at 11 a.m. Eastern, the number would have been easily into the 30s. I mean, that's an NFL number. That's huge.
Yeah, and it was a massive boon. Now we'll see the NHL goes back to the ice today, starting tonight, and I look forward to it, but I wonder how many fans who were, fringe fans who only tuned in because it was the Olympics. Most people wrap themselves in the flag during the Olympics, and I don't know that it carries over. Certainly it doesn't for all those other fringe sports that nobody watches. We'll see if it does for hockey. Obviously, hockey has a better grasp on the public than, say, the luge. But I would be curious to see if we get it.
Well, and you have a staggered return for a lot of players that were on international rosters, specifically for the Canadians and the Americans, that if they're playing tonight, if the teams that they play for are playing tonight, some are active, some are not. Jake Gensel in Tampa is.
All right.
I will say quickly, too, just because I know that you're aware of him. He was on SiriusXM. Boomer Gordon, who was an excellent host for a long time on SiriusXM, passed away. He just passed away. He was 56 years old.
Yeah.
That guy was he was awesome. He was a savant, the history of the sport, and he was an excellent voice. He just passed away.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I was unaware. That makes me sad. That said, Tom, I will say the other problem you have is that unlike some sports where guys emerge and become part of the common thread of the sport where people attach themselves to a superstar in some realm or another. The problem you have here is that, for example, Halbuck and others, I mean, he plays for Winnipeg.
Right. Yep.
Nobody's watching that.
That is obscure.
And then you have guys that play for a lot of these guys are on non-playoff teams that won't be in the postseason, that you're just like, well, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. I mean, Minnesota will, but you've got guys, two of the players play for the Rangers. They're not going anywhere. The Rangers suck.
No,
there's
could have bet on them, everybody.
Yeah.
Jack Hughes is out in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And
they're not going anywhere.
I mean, they were a brand in the late 90s, early 2000s, but when you float out, what are the top 15 brands in the NHL? New Jersey ain't one of them. Hadn't been in a long time.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know that it's going to make a huge difference in how many people watch hockey. I do know, I was reading an article, you don't need a huge number to make a difference. You need less than 2% of the people who tuned in to hockey during the Olympics to suddenly become casual fans of the NHL, and you will see a pretty big uptick to the tune of 200,000 people that weren't watching hockey before that are now, if you get like 2%.
The hard part is, even though they've succeeded in hockey to pivot towards networks that people have heard of, they're on all of them, and you don't really know the pattern in which they're going to be on any of those networks, be it TNT or ESPN Plus streaming only game, which is on Hulu, or is it going to be on?
Oh,
I mean,
man,
it's just
don't get me started on
it's
this
all
nonsense.
over the place.
It's
It's very hard to pinpoint. The networks are better than they used to be. NBC Sports and Versus were horrible. But it's not easy to land that plane.
I forgot all about it. Versus
went from OLN to Versus to NBC Sports.
Yeah, I was gonna say Versus. Every time I flipped over to Versus, somebody was on a bike.
The unfortunate thing is,
I'm not watching all this.
Versus it's an in the cut thing, and you can't find it. They had an original playoff theme that I thought rivaled ESPN's playoff theme, and they abandoned it, and it was awesome.
It's hard to rival the theme music for hockey is awesome.
It is.
Well, they've actually got good theme music for a lot of. That's a thing where we all remember CBS's basketball music.
Oh yeah,
I mean, really good. I don't remember the verse. I'm gonna look it up.
You can't find it. Trust me, I've looked because they changed to a new one.
Versus did?
Versus within the 3-4 years before they changed their name to NBC Sports. It was really good. It was kind of sinister and hard rockish, which was good because ESPN's NHL theme is a little bit more jazzy. And then the NBC Sports one I didn't like. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't really remember that either. By the way, last hour, thanks for you guys chiming in. I saw you TPE with a little Tim Foley love from my beloved Pittsburgh Pirates. Also, of course, Tim having played for the Montreal Expos as well. And, I remember all the years. Played for your New York Mets. Played for the...
Who did?
Tim Foley.
Tim Foley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you weren't alive, Tom.
Was he the Todd Zeal of his time?
No,
Todd played for everybody.
He only played for you. He played for you 2 different seasons. 78. He came back to the Buccos, and but the Pirates. Foley was like a career 250 hitter, so I don't even know. I was 8 years old. I don't know if I was thinking about his pitch selection. I would have said Bill Madlock off that same team, Mario. There you go, Bill Madlock. Oh, I love me some Bill Madlock. 79 Pirates. I love me some Bill Madlock. He was a stud. That team was good. They won the World Series. Really good. Rennie Stennett, Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, Omar Marino. We could go on, guys. I know you'd love for me to do that.
Coming up on 50 years.
On and
hey, we're celebrating 40 this year, so.
Man, it just pisses me off to no end. I know that things are looking up in Pittsburgh these days, and you are going to go again. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah, we got to lock that in. Yes.
We can log it into the commercial break if you'd like.
I got to tell the higher-ups. All right, so I've got Ireland in June. I'm going to Pittsburgh for a couple of days in August.
Hey, this begs the question, are you excited at all about spring football? Let's just be honest here. We strive not to, just shill for these guys. I don't
think we're ever going to be accused of that.
No. You excited at all about spring football? I mean, I think I detect a whole bunch of lukewarmness out there about spring football when it comes to those of us who cover it, those of us who care about it, are passionate about it, those of us who are Noles, those of us who support all things Florida State, those of us in the community. Whole lot of lukewarmness is what I suspect is the reaction to the idea of spring football.
Yeah, I think that's fair. This is where the human side of it comes out. I agree with most everybody on the beat who says it's a time suck to have access to every single practice.
Well, right. You don't need access.
But if you told me that we get to go to 3 practices this spring, I'm markedly more interested in spring football than if they told me that
3 total or 3 a week?
No, 3 total.
Well, I'd like to go to more than 3 total.
Well, okay.
Once a week we go.
But if you tell me we got a few
Tuesdays.
shots, we got a few shots to go. I mean, they only have 15 of them. So, yeah. If we get a few shots to go see it, then sure. But if it's just going to be interviews and rhetoric, then I don't know, man. That's tough. Or at the very least, if they gave us a showcase. They haven't announced that yet either, whether they're doing that or they're not. There's no excuse not to. You're trying to up the amount of events you have inside of Doak Campbell Stadium to use all those price points and luxury seating areas. So if you told me that there was no practice access, but we did get a showcase of some kind, I would be more excited. But right now, it feels like we're getting zilch.
The showcase, you want it to be like a real game, something close to it, akin to it, without the quarterbacks being live?
Exactly. I think so. And because you have a potential for a quarterback battle here, even if it's just a faint scent of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't feel like there is as much of one as I thought there'd be.
But it's not it's not a NIL disparity or rev share disparity that we already know who the guy is. I mean, if you could give me a little bit of juice when there's 2 different quarterbacks on the field, then yeah, just don't do those drills in the beginning. And that would be my wish.
Oh, well, if we just get a game, I mean, that'd be great. By the way, I liked hearing from Chris Jones, the linebacker. I know player interviews are up, and you guys can go look at all those on warchant.com. I haven't gotten through all of them yet. For example, I haven't listened to CJ Richard yet. Really, well put together young man at corner. And there are guys that I just haven't heard from yet, but I did listen to Chris Jones. And if you look at Chris Jones, you go, all right.
He's only 19. That's what's crazy.
I mean, he's got it together. Solid, big, strong-looking dude. All right.
Motivated, believes in his ability to play sideline to sideline.
Yes, he does.
The coverage is going to be critical because it wasn't good. So you're going to have to see some growth.
We
in
just
that spot.
signed a guy like that who was here last year. A lot of tackles, tackling machine.
Now that guy was kind of a super senior. This kid's a little younger. That would be where the hope lies. And then also, this is a scheme that, I mean, if you're good, you're one of the first people that the TV announcers will break down when the game comes on. If you're good as a linebacker in the Tony White scheme, your name is everywhere. This is incredible opportunity here.
That's when you talk about spring, or you bring up spring, or I do, and I talk about being, kind of lukewarm about all of it. I will say there would be reason to want to go out there a couple times a week if we could, because I do want to see, are we markedly better at linebacker? I mean, do you have a real playmaker there now? What are you on the offensive line? That's, another thing I'd like to get a sense of. I'm less worried about running back. I actually think if they would stick to the two that should lead the pack, they'll be all right. I do want to see how we're going to utilize our tight ends. You don't have really a blocking tight end in this group, so I'm kind of curious about that. We already know what we are at least one receiver position. The other is still a work in progress, but he's got blazing speed, so we'll see. As far as the defense goes, of course, defensive line, but I don't know that spring's going to tell us too much about that. So,
but it can show you the little things: who's in shape, who's engaged, and what does it sound like? What is it? I mean, because now there has been a little bit of time between when we were last into practice with any consistency. You saw a scrimmage last year. That doesn't belie anything about the way that Tony White wants to run stuff day to day.
No.
And they're about to course shift again, I would imagine. There were some Gus-specific things that Mike is going to be more than happy to throw out, I would imagine. I'm not just talking about plays, talking perhaps about drills and sequencing and things like that too. I'll bet Gus had a big hand in sequencing out practice start to finish. Just a wild guess. So does Mike tighten that up? And does he change that a little bit? Yeah, it would be fascinating to see all those things. And then also, it'd be really cool to see that facility in action too, just up close and personal. That thing
it's massive.
Wow.
It's the Death Star.
Yeah.
One thing I would say to you, Tom, is that back to the end of last hour, like them not choosing to have Mike go on the booster tour and try to fundraise, that's not abnormal. That's changing throughout college football. There are fewer tour stops, if you will, than there used to be. Back in the day, that was a cornerstone of what you did to raise money for your program, and Bobby Bowden was great at it. My father talks about going every year with his best friend Blair. They went every year, and he's got pictures for years of him and Bobby Bowden, a young version of my dad and a younger version of Bobby Bowden, smiling and all that stuff. It's great. It's great. If you had a guy who was affable and fun like Bobby was, and he could really carry the room, it was really good. Florida benefited in that way when they had Steve Spurrier, because he would always take pot shots at all the rivals, and everybody would yuck it up and have a great time. But that's slowly been waning. But one thing I would say, even if you just dial it back to 4 or 5 quintessential, these are big money booster people, they're the ones who we're catering to this week. Mike's got to change the way that he messages. He's got to change the way that he talks, and he's got to change the way that he practices, to your point right now. I don't mean changing, the period format that he has. I'm talking about continuing to upgrade physicality, certainly at least one day a week in which you get after it, so-called Bloody Tuesdays, whatever it has to be. I would do that. And then I just think that the conversations have to be just that. They cannot be rhetoric when you have fallen on your face as hard as he has. Nobody wants to hear that.
I don't know that he knows how to do that. Maybe that's why they decided on what they decided as an organization, to just punt on it.
I don't know how you don't know how to do that. We've had a conversation with Mike Norvell that does not involve him screaming.
That's true, but you're not working a crowd of strangers. And not to say that the media are all very familiar with Mike, but there's a difference between being in an ACC kickoff room with local media, there's 10 of us or 15 of us, and you sit down and you say, shoot, with the questions, versus a room. The room feels different. I know. Have you seen him do it?
No, I've not seen him do it. I'd like to see him do it. That's my point.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Well, how did he handle it with the kids? With his team when you were at his house?
No, he wasn't yelling at anybody. He was chilling out. We were having a casual conversation.
Yeah.
It was me, Gene Deckerhoff, and Andy Staples just sitting there talking to him. I mean, he wasn't just addressing us.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, when he's addressing the team, when he's in that setting, he's the MC, still has to be.
He was calm, man. He was standing over by his pool, and everybody was eating barbecue. And he was like, I just want to thank you guys for coming out. Really appreciate it. I've asked you guys to sacrifice. If I have my way, we're going to do more of this team get-togethers. If you need to reach out to me for anything, we want you to know that our house is open. My house is open at any time. If you need help, reach out to. He was having this kind of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He's fully capable.
And there it is. That's what you would need. But he's going to have to do that. I would imagine you'd have the big wig boosters. You'd go to them first of all, but then you'd invite them to the new facility for, I don't know, maybe you could get a private chef out there on the field. You got to go bells and whistles here with the big wigs.
Well, bells and whistles in the sense that you're feeding them, yeah, sure, surf and turf and some nice wine and whatever else. But I still think the conversation, these guys are accomplished people. You're talking about CEOs. You're talking about guys who have started, built up, successfully changed the fortunes of businesses, sold them, made millions of dollars, started a new one. These are people that have had to work with, hire, develop, entire departments. These are all very successful people, and they're not, I don't think, accustomed to being yelled at or yelled to as opposed to talked to.
Those would, yes. If it were me and I was advising, the PR firm might have a wing that allows for these types of coaching moments.
Right.
My PR firm advice would be ask them how they made their money. Ask them what they learned about how to manage people.
Well, in crisis in particular, like after you've had a setback, I mean, most of these folks did not rise to that level to where they could give millions of dollars to their school without having experienced setbacks, overcome said setbacks, and then succeeded.
And in most conversations, there are some where you can't learn anything,
That's
but in most
true.
conversations, you will learn something. And if you have a curious mind and you're asking that person their war stories, yeah, it's tactical, but it's also if you can
might learn
engage,
something, yeah.
if you can engage, you're going to be enriched by that. And guess what? They're going to feel that energy. And if push comes to shove and it's a 50-50 call this year, which is hopefully like 8-4, they will say, all right, I believe in that guy.
Well, if there's a barrier, you can't make them believe in you because you have a conversation with them, but you can make them see you as human. And this is, we talk about when you come in as a PR agent or something like that. We joke about it all the time. But in truth, if you are working at a place that needs an awful lot of reshaping, an overhaul and perception, it starts simply with connection. You have to be able to connect to the people you're going to need to help you in this process. It doesn't happen through rhetoric and yelling. To me, it's going to have to be like, all right, look, this is our situation. Obviously, I'm incredibly disappointed with what's happened here the last 2 years. And I'm vowing, obviously, to try to get this turned around. But here are the steps we're taking right now. And this is the conversation. And you got to be willing to take that feedback. And some of it may hurt your feelings. And you got to be able to listen to it and try to learn something from it and try to grow and try to connect. Over that dinner that we're describing, I needed to connect with that guy that's worth $270 million or whatever he is. I don't need him to believe when he leaves there that I'm the guy. I don't need him to believe that I'm going to get it turned around. I need him to know who I am.
Yeah, well, that's the important thing is if he's addressing a crowd the way he has traditionally, when that's over and all the hands are shook and the photos are taken and he gets in the car and he starts talking to whoever's in the car with him, how do you think he sounds? You think he sounds like he does in the building?
No.
That's the whole thing, man. That's the whole ball game. And that's Luke Lauk's biggest strength.
Oh, he's great at it.
That a lot of these coaches are that way, but Link's that way. I believe how Link talks to you in an interview is exactly how he talks when the interview's over and it's off the record and he's with his coaches.
Well, and one of the reasons you believe that is because he's also talked to me off the record while you're waiting to record, and you hear it's just like it always is.
Sure, but there's a determination and a curiosity in the way that guy speaks about the game, almost a wonder for the game of baseball that you know is exactly like he's going to speak more state secrets and in the weeds with his guys about velo and arm angles and stuff. Yeah. But it's going to sound exactly like he sounds. It's the same guy. Luke, same thing. The way he was with you in the one-on-one interview yesterday, when they're having the beers and on the whiteboard is exactly how he sounds. There aren't two guys.
Well, he was that way last night after the game, too. It was great.
Right. There aren't two guys.
Mm-hmm.
He just is. With Mike, that's the hard part.
Pinch a penny pools and spas. Something special for everybody. And what's waiting right now is Costco pricing. While supplies last, Pinch a Penny has partnered with Costco for an exclusive partnership and discounted pricing plan. It's just a short period of time, though. You got to take advantage of it while you can. Hot tub you've always wanted is affordable. Prices that you won't see again with Costco pricing. If you've already got a hot tub, you've been looking to replace it, it's worn down, dilapidated, whatever it might be, they'll come and haul it away for you and give you money towards your new one. So it's affordable. They'll dispose of it for you. You don't have to worry about it. They'll deliver and set up your new one just like that. Go check them out. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, huge showroom on Greer Road. I've been there more than once. It's something to behold. It's off Capitol Circle there. Exclusive Costco partnership pricing is available right now for a limited time at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas.
From the team behind Mac and More Systems comes IOWise, Tallahassee's trusted source for IT services. Protect your business with 24/7 cybersecurity, managed IT support, cloud storage solutions, network design, voice over IP phone systems, expert tech counseling, and more. Whether your business is growing fast or just getting started, IOWise keeps your systems running smoothly and securely. Local service, big solutions. Visit iowise.com today and work wiser with IOWise.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is your one-stop destination for all pool maintenance needs, offering everything you need from chemicals, cleaners, vacuums, nets, and more. But that's not all. Pinch a Penny also carries a huge selection of premium hot springs hot tubs paired with easy financing options, making these luxury hot tubs affordable for everyone. And if you have an older hot tub and you're worried about the hassle of removing it, worry no more. Pinch a Penny will not only remove and haul away your old hot tub, but also offer a trade-in value for a credit towards your new one. So why wait? Visit Pinch a Penny's 12,000 square foot showroom today on Greer Road and discover how effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
The time is now for a new boat. February 27th through March 1st, the area's leading boat dealer will display a huge selection at the North Florida Fairgrounds for the Tallahassee Regional Boat Show. Shop, compare, and make your best deal on the greatest boat. Carolina Skip, Contender, G3, Seahawk, Robalo, Skeeter, Pathfinder, and more. Plus, you'll find the best outboard options from Yamaha at the lowest prices of the year. Easy on-site financing too. The Tallahassee Regional Boat Show, February 27th through March 1st at the North Florida Fairgrounds. Admission or parking are free. Don't miss this one.
Tired of calling 1-800 numbers just to get put on hold? Flush those numbers down the drain and call Terry West Plumbing and Septic Services, now offering Terry's Toilets, providing clean, reliable porta potties for any job site, special event, or backyard party. Real local people doing real work. No robots, no AI, no call centers. For all your septic services and portable restroom needs, one local call wipes away the competition. Call 850-510-8558. That's 510-8558. Or visit terrywestplumbing.com. When you call, we answer.
Water is your home's worst enemy. It finds cracks, soft spots, and weaknesses. But not on our watch. At Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing, we're veteran-owned and built different, driven by detail and the pursuit of excellence. We install seamless gutters, underground drainage, and waterproofing systems that don't fail. Because when you live with discipline, water doesn't stand a chance. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. Visit guttersolutions.net. With us, it's personal.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
Real Talk 93.3 is proud to welcome our newest live show to the lineup. Living Tallahassee On Air, hosted by Patty Wilson and Jason Taylor, presented by Tallahassee Ford. It's every Friday at noon and it's based on the popular Living Tallahassee Facebook group. We take your phone calls and we discuss all things local, from what events are happening around town to helpful tips and advice on how to make the most out of living in the capital city. So tune in every Friday at 12 noon. It's Living Tallahassee on Air, hosted by Patty Wilson and Jason Taylor, presented by Tallahassee Ford, right here on Real Talk 93.3.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
The Dolphins still uncertain what they're going to do with Tua. Boy, I'd cut his sorry ass. But then again, that's a $99 million dead cap hit if you do. Woo!
Their GM said, I don't know how I could make the money work this year.
He's right.
If I did that.
It's tough. You got to do it after June 1st or whatever.
That's
and
right.
You break it up. $52 million this year. Sorry, I'm laughing at their plight. That is a brutal set of circumstances. Well, hell, the Vikings are going to have an opportunity here. I just don't get what the Falcons are doing. The Falcons are going to tell their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, to F off. And he was, what was he down the stretch? 4-2, 5-1, whatever he was down the stretch.
They play us twice.
He owns our ass, that's for sure. I don't know. I just don't know what they're doing. But if you're the Vikings, you take Kirk Cousins back, and you'd say, all right, we got a guy that, we got a really nice little offense here. The Falcons are expected to release Kirk Cousins on the first hour of the day that they're allowed to do it. I've got some trepidation if I'm Stefanski right now in Atlanta, because my roster is kind of built to win right now. They're not bad offensively. And I've got to try to win with a guy that I'm not sure I can win with. I got a guy in place who, if I keep upright, can throw the ball.
He's literal feast or famine as Penix. Because last year, I think he made 9 starts, and in 4 of them, he was elite. In 4 of them, he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the given week of football.
I was reading an article today. I was cracking up laughing, man, because we're at that stage now where people, this is it. I've said it. This is the week. They're all in Indianapolis right now. Agents are sitting down talking to owners, talking to coaches. This is it. Now, they're all out to dinner, having a great steak and a lot of scotch, and they're figuring out who's what and who's going to go after what. And so already the whispers out of New York are that the Jets are going to try to bring in Spencer Rattler. And if I were a Jets fan, I'd shoot myself in the face. What are we doing? What are we doing?
You've got also
sweet Jesus,
an article today on ESPN speculating that the Cleveland Browns are in the hunt for their new quarterback.
Yes,
Kyler Murray. That they are interested in Kyler Murray to be the answer for them. It's a tough offseason.
I've gotten to where I just feel sorry for Cleveland.
Nope. The Deshaun Watson thing.
Well, there's that.
There's a barrier.
Oh, and it's still a barrier. It's quite the barrier.
That it had to happen to that fan base.
That's what I mean. The fans. I don't care about the management there.
But that management can go die in a fire. That's crazy person talk, what they did.
Man. And it's funny, too, because they're going to have to default. I was laughing so hard. Emmitt Smith is prattling on about how, it seems like an easy choice. From what I've seen, you got to go with Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, he of the 18.9 QBR Sanders family. Yeah, I can't wait to ride him into action. Here we go. It's going to be great. That's no fun office jobs for him.
Do we get Louis Riddick and Mel Kiper crying about that on this year's draft, on night 1 of this year's draft?
Whew, buddy.
That was, I guess, if terrible television last year.
I will tell you, I'm kind of interested in Malik Willis with the Dolphins.
Have you adopted the Dolphins as your second team?
No, there's a part of me.
You have such a fascination with Miami
because they're an effing mess. And they're just, it's
because you adopted the Chargers some time ago. You had such a lovely on again, off again. You'd give up on them when they went 3-7 each year, and then they'd win the final 6.
Come on,
the Fighting Phillip Rivers.
I do have there's a soft spot in my heart for the Chargers. There's a soft spot. I'm getting old. And my dad, became a Bucs fan, but he started as Dolphins fan because when he was very young, they moved from Pennsylvania down to Miami, and then the Dolphins came on board, and he got to see, the building of a franchise and Don Shula and the whole kit and caboodle, and he's always loved the Dolphins. And I used to make fun of him for it, and I used to actually needle him for being a Dolphins fan.
See.
But now
It's
I'm kind of
the
like,
guilt of all those needles is you want to make good on it, and you want Miami to make good on it for your pop.
well, there's also nostalgia because as I aged, I did kind of, when they break out the fat stripes on the sleeve, those uniforms are tight. I like those uniforms. They need to get rid of that sleek Dolphin and go back to the fat Dolphin and get the real Dolphin in there, the Larry Zonka Dolphin. And anyhow, there's a part of me that has a soft spot for them.
That new Dolphin kind of has a look to it like the ship in Flight of the Last Navigator. Or that kids movie?
I didn't see that.
That came out when I was a little kid.
Yeah, I never saw it.
It's kind of like those Vortex footballs, just kind of like this. It's built for speed.
Yeah, no, but I don't like it.
I tend to agree.
Let's go back to the old Dolphins. Just wear the old uniforms. They're great. They're great. They're very quintessential Miami. It makes sense, everything about it. But no, they find themselves in a hopeless situation. You got a new GM and a new head coach. It's a time for renewal. It's a time to start fresh, and you're burdened by this ridiculous contract to Tua. And, this is a guy who got benched last year. He's had 47 concussions. You're kind of stuck with him. There's nothing you can really do. You've already ousted all the people you needed to oust, Tua being the last remaining, and you kind of have to keep him around. You can do what Cleveland did with Deshaun Watson. Like, even if Deshaun Watson, and we don't even know, there's a chance that Deshaun was capable in the last 4 games of the year last year of being able to play, but they were never going to play him. They just buried him. You would have to do the same thing to Tua here. Be like, listen, we're going to have to wear this year because your dead cap number is too big for us to wear. You're the third stringer. You're never going to play. So don't get any ideas, buddy. You sit over there and stare off into the distance.
You can hang out with the kickers in camp. Right.
You think about your aching ass hip and your sorry weak ass arm and all of the things you've forgotten because of your concussions, and you sit over there and stare at the sun. It's bright down here.
It is. That's true.
That's what we're doing with you, pal.
Here's the ship. This is the Flight of the Navigator ship. See, it kind of. That's what
I don't have it up.
It's on the screen.
I don't have. Hold on.
Oh, you don't have the screen?
No, now I have the screen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See that?
That's
what the Dolphin reminds me of. It just reminds me of that ship.
Yeah.
That movie came out in 1986, by the way.
Year you were born.
Yeah.
But man, imagine being a Jets fan. Spencer Rattler. Oof. Colts are talking about Gardner Minshew for now. Oof.
Well, if they're going to commit to Daniel Jones, he won't be ready to start the season. Yeah. Hold down the fort, Gardner.
Don't forget, and we all have already, Patrick Mahomes' injury and the timeline in which he suffered it suggests he will not be ready to go. He said he wants to be back week 1. Most people don't think he will be back week 1. So the Chiefs are looking at perhaps a little Marcus Mariota in Kansas City.
Oh, there you go. Game manager. There has to be a market for the Giants to jettison Jameis Winston. What's the point? What's the point of holding on to him? You ain't doing anything this year. Turn that asset into a 5th round, 6th round pick.
Imagine being the poor people out in Arizona. You're going with Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby every once in a while has a game where you go,
Come
man,
on,
oh
buddy.
man.
You know that dude.
I have a soft spot for Jacoby Brissett.
Come on, man. Brutal.
He's in my Matt Moore Hall of Fame.
That's not ideal. Yeah, the guys we know who's going to be what and when. That's kind of an easy one. You go right through all those as we get set for free agency. Obviously Lamar's back in Baltimore. Josh is back in Buffalo. Bryce Young cementing his place in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams in Chicago. Joe Burrow, if he can ever stay healthy, back in Cincinnati. Dak Prescott back in Dallas. Bo Nix, who's apparently going to be good in the NFL, in Denver. Jared Goff in Detroit. Jordan Love with Green Bay. I wonder if Green Bay people are looking at Jordan Love like, I don't know, buddy. I thought so, but now I'm not so sure.
Well, that's what a miracle comeback can do for you in the playoffs from Caleb Williams. You're looking in the division saying, and wait a minute, and Minnesota's going to get Cousins?
Right.
And they still have Flores as their defense. Oh, wait a minute. Where do we sit in this division?
You talk about uncertainty. How would you like to be the Houston Texans? What is C.J. Stroud? What is he?
That is filling up a lot of time on those airwaves in the offseason.
Every second of every day. What do we do with this dude? The last time we saw him, he threw 4 interceptions in that loss to the Patriots. He was the worst quarterback you'd ever seen in a game that day.
It was special.
And yet, for much of the season, he was,
He set the tone early, too. You're like, ooh.
Jacksonville's certain with Trevor. They're good to go. Raiders don't have a quarterback, but they're going to draft Fernando Mendoza. So he'll be your starter. I don't think you can start him behind that offensive line. You better pay out the ass for some free agents.
C.J. Stroud's performance is the same as that 2 or 3 starter that you like, but he can go ice cold in baseball. And he starts the game with 6 straight non-competitive balls. And for whatever reason, a guy hits an atom ball to left fielder. Like, okay, is that going to settle him down? Then he throws 3 more out of the strike zone.
No, this is not
Pitching
good.
coach comes out, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, my God, he's not going to make it through the first inning.
Herbert back with the Chargers, Stafford back with the Rams, May with New England, Tyler Shuck in New Orleans. They got a guy all of a sudden, or at least a guy that has hope. Jackson Dart with the Giants, Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, Brock Purdy with the Niners, Sam Darnold with the Seahawks, us with Baker Mayfield, Titans with Cam Ward. Jaden Daniels comes back for Washington. They'll need him to get back to who he was when he won Rookie of the Year. Those are your certainties.
Who do you think is going to be better this year? Caleb Williams or Bo Nix?
That's a great question. I couldn't believe that what's-his-face said he's going to give up play calling this year for Denver.
Yeah, apparently that is not because of any other reason than Peyton thinks incredibly highly of his assistant coach, whose name escapes me. But, yeah, Sean Payton gave up the Waffle House menu.
His assistant coach is the former quarterback. He's a Davis Mills or whoever the
already Davis Mills.
Isn't that him? Double check it. Maybe that's him. Maybe that's not him. That's who we were calling on to bench C.J. Stroud, wasn't
Davis
it?
Webb.
Davis
Yeah.
Webb.
Yeah.
Davis Webb.
Yeah,
All right,
Davis
yeah.
Mills is the Stanford guy. They were like, can Davis do worse? I think the answer is no. He cannot do worse.
Well, the answer was definitely no, and they needed to do it immediately. But they didn't do it, and they had to sit through the pain of watching that guy in a suck fest. That was unbelievable.
I'd like to think that there's an aloof defender that walked up to the head coach and said, Coach, I don't think this is all Nico being absent from this game. I think there's more to it than just not having Nico out there.
Yes.
Yes, Ted. Please sit down. I understand.
I understand the situation.
Coach, I just want to let you know.
This is not it.
I'm starting to think that maybe there might be something more going on here.
Uh-huh. Garnet and Gold, you are right. There is a market for Mac Jones, and there's a lot of people who would like Mac Jones, but Mac Jones is going to get paid by the 49ers. They don't want him to leave. They have already come out and said, no, we're good. We're holding on to Mac now, which he did play very, very well when he got the opportunity. I don't know. Would you?
With the way they get injured, I'd keep every talented body I have.
Oh, God, do they get hurt?
They are something else.
T-Spark Enterprises, tsparkconstruction.com. Yes, of course, the best in the business. Not only commercial, but residential roofing to boot, remodeling, additions, work with businesses or build-outs, things of that ilk. If you go to their website, you can see all the services that they do provide. Serve North Florida, South Georgia, Tallahassee, Monticello, Havana, Quincy, Crawfordville, Wakulla, Madison, Thomasville, Bainbridge, Cairo, all those places. tsparkconstruction.com, or you can give them a call today, 850-766-1340. That's 850-766-1340.
Your local news now.
A 15-year-old was in connection to a string of Facebook Marketplace robberies that occurred earlier this year. The suspect was arrested in connection to the 5 robbery incidents that took place between January 4th and February 17th. In each case, officials said victims reported arranging to meet for what appeared to be a legitimate online transaction. Once the victims met at the meeting location, the suspect took the property and fled the scene. In one incident, a victim attempted to regain their property, but the 15-year-old was able to overpower the victim's efforts. The stolen items included iPhones and
MacBook Pro, and a laptop. Investigators urge residents to meet in well-lit public locations and utilize designated safe exchange zones when conducting online transactions. The Tallahassee Police Station and the front parking lot at the Leon County Sheriff's Office are both designated safe exchange locations. This is Rachel Anay with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
Now, here's your Tallahassee weather report.
Hey there, I'm meteorologist Ryan Gold, and we are back to average temperatures today. That includes lunchtime. We will be in the upper 60s as we head into midday, and we climb into the low 70s by the late afternoon. Skies will be a mix of sun and clouds. The moisture and humidity are growing, which will lead to a much warmer start tomorrow. From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food. It's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín, authentic Peruvian, right around the corner.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood. Oh, good days. So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played. Kind of like the bikes we built. Correct, yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played. But they still try to break the rules, right? Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life. And the best game you ever played was that game. Never been a better one. Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff? I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Baseball game at 5. Question was asked regarding that game. I saw it in the chat there. Hey, is the baseball game going to be streamed anywhere this afternoon against North Florida? Game 5 o'clock again.
ACC Network Extra.
That's correct.
I did the work for you. I went to FSU Baseball's webpage, and there you go.
Yeah, ACC Network Extra. Most games are. That was a weird thing last week. Most of these games are findable. I actually did appreciate, though, I got to give credit to FSU for something. I don't always do that. They don't usually warrant it. But they did a good job, at least feeding Lulu there on the Twitter feed. You could listen and watch that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The behind the mic thing. Yeah. That outdid a lot of the basketball things they do because people were, give me something. Give me anything. Yeah. So there is that. So that's how you can watch it, Brett. 4 Noles in the field this week at the Cognizant. This is a shame that this used to be the Honda. And the Honda was so great. I've been to the Honda. It was a fantastic tournament. It was a big deal to win it. I saw Adam Scott win it. And coming down the stretch, he about choked it away. I couldn't believe it. But it was a bigger deal. It's getting screwed now by the schedule. It's where it falls. You're coming off a elevated event, 2 elevated events. So this is the one that everybody ducks out of. 2 elevated events followed by an elevated event, which is the Arnold Palmer. Now, I think Jack is generally okay with it as much as he can be because he has Memorial later in the year, and that's his signature event. But as good as the finish is at the Waste Management, the WM,
really good. Yeah.
WM, the Blue Monster finish is fantastic. Right. It's great for TV. The tournament is not over until you finish all 72 holes because it's hard enough to make par on the par 3 17th. And then that 18th, if you can get around the corner, you got a real shot to make eagle, but you have to hit a perfect drive. Like it's a really fun finish. It's unfortunate. You're right that it gets lost in the shuffle.
It's not good, but Yeah, if you're just looking at the data golf model, you guys always ask me about my picks. I've made some for this week already. By the way, the Hogards, buddy, this is your week. I love it. I like Nikolai Hogard a lot this week. I like Rasmus Hogard a lot this week. So the Hogards getting after. Thorn Bjornsson is a good pick this week as well.
He looked a little out of sorts. Maybe we'll call it the jet lag at TGL this week. Shane Lowry made 1 or 2 poor swings, but he did not look out of sorts. Shano plays well here, and if I called it Blue Monster, I meant Bear Trap.
Bear Trap, yeah.
Shano has played this well. Actually, I saw him go in the water once live on television. It's maybe like the 14th or something like that, and the hot mic was not ready.
Oh, that's great.
It was not ready. And because it was off the club face, he knew that it was water. There was nothing's going to save him, not a hurricane. And he dropped with an Irish brogue of an F-bomb, which is perfect.
Highest percentage to make the cut this week is Shane Lowry, to your point.
Yep.
Top 20 is not the highest percentage. He's the second highest percentage. Percentage to win the tournament, second highest percentage based on data golf to win the tournament this week. Ryan Gerard, who I like a lot, is got a higher win percentage chance here, is playing very, very well right now. Look at guys, if you're trying to make money in this thing really quickly, and guys, I'm not going to go deep dive on the Cognizant, but I will be betting it. But I will tell you, like, this is a tournament where, depending on how you deploy in your league, like Alex Smalley, this is an Alex Smalley event. This is a Rico Hoey event. This is a
Rico Hoey.
Yeah, he's a guy that you can feel. Hey, you know what? You want to take a flyer on somebody who's got game for days but has not been healthy and is finally trying to fight his way back. Probably the best mid-iron player in the field, Will Zalatoris. You guys know I love me some Will. He's had all kinds of back issues. I don't know if his career is ever going to reach the promise of that gorgeous swing that was on display so early in his career, but he's fighting back now. So we'll see if Will can do it. Chris Kirk is good here. That'll kind of tell you about the field.
Yeah, it's weak. You know who's a name that has been around recently for major picks, cuts, top 10s, top 20s that has been out of form that could really use a good week? Old Max Homa. Old Max Homa could use
I can't read Max right now. I'm worried about him. I am too. Let me tell you who I'm really worried about.
But if you focus, you play hard in this type of field, you could see him on the first page.
Absolutely, you could. You know who I'm really worried about? Brooks F. and Koepka, who's in this field and has won here and can play. That guy right now on the putting surface is a lost individual. He looks like a buffoon.
Got to get rid of the mallet.
Look,
go back to the blade.
Stevie Wonder's putting better than Brooks Koepka right now. This is something to behold. He can't putt, like, even a little bit. I'd like to know what's going on with my man.
Well, Monty Jones believes Stevie Wonder is an excellent putter.
He's like, you know why, Jeff? Brett, I already told you this in advance. You know this. I'm worried about Luke Clinton. I don't like the trajectory for Luke Clinton on the tour this year. I said it going into the season. I'm worried about him. Something was off at the end of last year. I didn't like his game at the end of last year. And I was like, this is waning a little bit here. Very quietly, he kind of sucked at the end of last year.
Is he falling in love with the numbers? Is he trying to? Because he hits at 191, and that's all I hear now is 191 ball speed. I'm like, well, okay, that's wonderful. Who cares? 185 is fine, Luke, if that's under control.
Well, he can send it, but I don't know. You want a dark horse that's coming up from the Corn Ferry who's got a game for days, speaking of sending it, and you want to just sprinkle some pizza money and have a little fun and see if this guy can't steal a win and set you up for the year? Johnny Kiefer. Watch Johnny Kiefer play. You'll like Johnny Kiefer, Tom. You will. Go watch him play. This is the time. He's at the Cognizant. You can see he might be in it. He may have a chance to be there on a Sunday.
For what reason would I like Johnny Kiefer?
His game is he's an American, first of all, and his game
that matters very greatly.
But his game is fantastic. You're gonna like him. He won, I think, 3 times on the damn Corn Ferry last year. He's good. Yeah.
You hearing anything about old Lanto Griffin?
No,
he was an alternate, but I see him in the tee times now. Somebody dropped out.
I think he's going to go the way of the dodo. It's like Austin Eckroat and people like that, where you're like, well,
how about old Tommy Kim? Everybody's favorite entertaining golfer guy.
Yeah, nope.
Okay.
Remember when Davis Riley was considered something?
Oh, hey, Brooks, here you go. So Brooks is playing with Berger and Zalatoris. That's a great group.
I'd like all three to play well. I'd like to see all three play well. Would also note, you know what's sad? And it's been so long now. Brant Snedeker's in the field. Did you forget he was on tour?
Yeah. Yeah, you know who else is in the field? I wonder if they paired him together. Is Charlie Hoffman. Charlie Hoffman's in the field here. And this used to be Charlie Hoffman's season. First page of the leaderboard in the Florida Swing every single week.
A little long in the tooth these days. Danny Willett is in the field, everybody.
Wow.
Danny Willett. Kevin Streelman. Have we entered Streelman season? I love these years where you're like, oh, Streelman's out there today. Peter Malnati.
Oh, wow.
Peter Malnati's out here. Only you and I find this fascinating. Somebody's driving down the road like, so what?
How about Pontus Nyholm?
I don't know Pontus.
Oh, well, you will.
Is he washing his hands of the man that is
not Pontus Pilot? Pontus Nyholm.
It was so easy.
Is he washing his hands
of the field? Hank Lebiota is in this.
They paired him with Herod.
Yeah, there's nicely done. Come on down, Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus. Come on, anytime you see Olamide Zacchaeus in the NFL, you're like, oh, he'd be taxing people.
He's stealing.
Come down for that tree tax, man.
Patton Kazire, remember when he was a good player?
No.
You don't remember when Kazire was
he a good player?
Yeah, briefly. Harry Higgs.
Isn't he a larger fella?
Yeah, you know fat Harry Higgs. Everybody likes the fat guys. They make a little run, and everybody's like, oh, I like him. Why do you
that was
like
a great
him?
name from Berman. You got to give him this Roland Olin Brown.
Oh, that's
right.
a
good name.
That is a good name. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection.